Okay.
How are you feeling this week?
Pretty flat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Did you manage to get to the doctor?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll just need to wait for those results to come back.
I asked him to send them here.
Great. Oh, thank you. What I'll need from you is to get consent to share so that I can chat to the doctor and find out what's going on, if that's okay with you.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay. I don't want to do that without your consent. And once we decide which mental health service, then I can get that as a consent to share as well, in case they need to have a chat with me about what's going on with us. But I'll always let you know whenever anyone contacts me. Yeah?
Right.
Look, today I've been doing quite a lot of thinking about how it's been going for you, and it really struck me how low you were last week.
I've been pretty despondent this week as well.
Okay, so to that end, I've actually got something that a questionnaire that I'd like to ask you. I know it's an endless ream of questions, but it just helps me to figure out the state of mind that you're in. This one's called the Quality of Life questionnaire, and essentially it's just going to help me and hopefully you to understand a little bit more about the state of your being.
Yeah.
So I guess again, it's a rating one. So how would you rate your quality of life on a scale of 1 to 5?
1, 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. How satisfied are you with your health at this point in time?
2.
Okay. I guess you spoke to me last week about being really fit when you were with your kids, and you had really active lives. And you said that you used to golf and fish and all of those things. When did all of that stop?
When my wife had.
Okay, so over the last 5 years, not very much?
Well, my golf kept going, and the fishing kept going until I was redundant from work.
Okay, so there hasn't been a lot for you to get out and enjoy over the last couple of years. Okay. I'm going to ask you a set of questions about the last 2 weeks, okay? So that just helps me to find out the frame of mind that you're in. To what extent do you feel that physical pain prevents you from doing what you need to do?
A moderate amount.
A moderate amount?
Yeah.
How much do you need any medical treatment to function in your daily life?
Not at all.
Okay, so the angina was just a blip?
Yeah.
You don't have to... No? How much do you enjoy your life?
A little.
A little. To what extent do you feel your life to be meaningful?
Not at all.
How well are you able to concentrate?
Yeah, not at all.
How safe do you feel at the moment?
A little.
How healthy is your house, your physical environment?
I'm moderate amount.
So you keep it tidy, you...
No, good thing.
Yeah? Even with you staying in bed a lot of the time?
Yeah, well, nothing gets messed up when I'm in bed.
That's so very true. The following questions are about the experiences that you're having at the moment. Do you have, and in the last 2 weeks, do you have enough energy for your everyday life?
Moderately.
Are you able to accept the way you look at the moment, your bodily appearance?
Moderately.
Have you enough money to meet your needs?
Not at all.
How available to you is the information that you need on a day-to-day basis?
What information?
So, paying your bills, getting out into the world. Are you computer literate?
No,
do you watch the news?
Not at all.
Okay. To what extent do you have the opportunity for leisure activities?
Not at all.
So, is that because you don't have the money?
Financial and social networks.
Okay. You've mentioned that before, the social network thing. That's something that I think we're going to have to do some work around.
Well, it was a real change when I got made redundant because all the other fellas at work did too, and a lot of them, moved out to different places to survive financially.
Right.
And there was a few of them who also got divorced from their wives at that point in time too.
Right.
And I've got one really good mate that we support each other, but he lives at Wangaratta. I'm probably lucky to get to see him, once every 6
Right.
weeks. And he's gone through pretty much the same thing I'm going through. We kind of balance each other out.
Right, okay. Do you ever visit him?
I can't get out there because I don't have a car anymore.
Okay. You know that there are trains, and you're not quite pensioner age yet, are you? So,
Full fare.
how well are you able to get around? Now, you've answered some of that,
Public
haven't you?
transport.
Yeah. Well, that's something we can help you with. I can give you a card and put some money on a MyKey for you, so that it will be a little bit easier for you to get around, and certainly alleviate a little bit of that money issue, hopefully. Remind me when we make our next appointment, okay? Okay, again, this is about the last 2 weeks. How satisfied are you with your sleep?
Not at all.
How satisfied are you with your ability to perform daily activities?
Dissatisfied.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
Oh, it's just, it's motivation.
Okay. You mentioned that you're not really eating well at the
Again,
moment.
motivation.
Do you know how to cook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be the cook, not my wife.
Okay. So you know how to do it.
Yep.
It's just that you're lacking
Yep.
in the desire to.
Yep.
And that says a lot about.
It's also financial, going to be able to buy, fresh fruit and vegetables and, meat.
Okay.
It costs a lot of money.
Yes. Yes. Someone once said that it's a hell of a lot more expensive to be healthy than it is to get takeout. How satisfied are you with your capacity for work? Do you feel your job
Very
ready?
dissatisfied. I would take any job immediately.
Right. So you have the capacity?
Yeah.
How satisfied are you within yourself?
Very dissatisfied.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I think we've gone through that.
Yeah. So you're dissatisfied because of lack of purpose?
Yeah, I think we've covered all of that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Talking more about it just makes me feel more depressed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to need to do something about that, Benjamin. How satisfied are you with your personal relationships?
No, well, I don't have any.
With your kids, if you were to pick up the phone and say, hey, come over, would they?
Now I don't think so.
Okay.
There'd have to be a reason, a purpose.
And is that because you don't think they would, or because they genuinely wouldn't?
Because I think they genuinely wouldn't.
Okay. So you think that there is more of a desire for them to be part of
No, I just don't see they think there's any purpose in coming to see me.
Okay.
What I said.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So perhaps we'll need to find some purpose. How satisfied are you with your sex life?
There isn't one.
Okay.
Don't have a partner to do that.
Would you like a partner?
Yeah, of course I would.
Okay. How satisfied are you with the supports that you get from your friends?
You're very satisfied from the friend that I've got.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it sounded to me last week like you and your brother are still quite tight.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So there's a support of sorts
Yeah,
there
very,
as well.
he loves me.
How satisfied are you with the conditions of your living space?
It's fine.
Are you happy with your little apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah? How satisfied are you with your access to health services?
It's there if I need to go to the doctor.
Okay. Do you have a good doctor, or would you...
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. How satisfied are you with your transport?
Again, public transport.
Okay, well, we can make that easier for you. Okay, so in the last 2 weeks, how often do you have negative feelings such as a blue mood, despair, anxiety, depression?
All the time.
All the time. Did you have a chat with the doctor about that?
Mm-hmm.
What did, how...
We did for the mental health plan,
Yeah,
so the results will be on there.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. All right. So I'm just going to add the scores up. Okay. I don't think it's a surprise to either of us to say that you are psychologically in a really bad way. But the fact of the matter is that there is a consistent element of low scores for almost every aspect of your life. So when you said to me this morning that you were quite despondent, you were quite right. I guess the next step for us, apart from wondering what we're going to do with your substance use, is also to start to brainstorm a little bit around what it is that you would like to do. Now, I've got a few ideas, but I guess I need you to point me in a direction and to let me know if I'm on the right track.
They are like hawks.
Okay.
So it's
Point me in a direction, and if I'm wrong, please hold me accountable. It feels to me like, from the conversation that we've just had and the one last week, that you really enjoy working with your hands. That you've lost a lot of your networks because your kids are no longer in your life.
I love kids.
And it also feels to me like you're looking for something to replace the work and the sense of purpose that work gave you, but also the actual tactileness of what it is that you did. And I was thinking about this quite a lot over the last week. Have you heard of men's sheds?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay, well, you don't sound very excited.
Well, I've never been to one.
Okay.
I can't be excited about something I don't know about.
Okay. The general setup with the men's shed is very different for each shed. So between the two of us, we'll probably end up doing some homework. Some of them are about making things. Some of them are about training.
Yeah, I've heard all of that.
Yeah. So, and some of them actually invite or go into schools and make things with kids. So I was thinking that might be a really...
I prefer to be a scout leader than be in a men's shed doing that.
Okay. All right, well, the Scouts was another option, but men's sheds are actually...
No, I meant about going into schools.
Right, yeah. Well, look, there are a lot of different options.
Because I just think schools aren't great places for children to be themselves.
Well, there is that, but I guess that is why we provide so many different opportunities for them to experience other things as well. And for men who have the capacity to make things and do things with their hands.
That's why they've got woodwork teachers.
Yeah, not all schools do that anymore. A lot of schools don't have, some of the schools have even dialed art classes back. So that's why they invite external people.
I just know from my own experience as a father, in schools you've got bullies and things like that, and they're able to have that control in that environment.
Right.
And it ruins things for other kids.
Okay.
Because if you take a kid out and you take them to Scouts, they might be being bullied at school, but they flourish at Scouts.
Yeah. Well,
So I like the idea of men's shed for going into the men's shed, just not with the school bit of it.
Sure. And as I said, each men's shed operates on a slightly different level, so we would have to ring around a few, find out what it is that they do. The other beauty of a men's shed, from my way of looking at it, is that it provides you with networks, it provides you with company, it provides you with other men who are possibly in the same boat as you, and you can get to know each other. Yeah. So that was one thing. And look, there will be a number of other things that I can float for you along the way. I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want to throw things at you continuously. But there will be the opportunity for you to come and explore a whole lot of different things. One of the other things that I was thinking about was getting you retrained and maybe sending you to a TAFE course.
I like that idea.
And I think the next round of homework that I'm going to give you is to give you a bit of a thought process around what it is that you'd like to be retrained in. Because the world's your oyster as far as I can see, Ben. I actually genuinely believe that you could do pretty much anything. And that if you enjoy working with your hands, we could possibly look at retraining you around that. Or if you wanted to do something else, perhaps we could get you to train other people to work with their hands.
Right.
So there are lots and lots and lots
I do like
of options.
Pardon my knowledge of it.
Yeah. So those just two of the little things that I've been thinking about, and I guess in the next little while we'll kind of come up with a few more goals and pop those on some paper, and then we can do what we call here in the service an ITP, an individual treatment plan, where we give you some ideas and then we set you out and see how they float.
So like a road plan.
Indeed,
Right.
indeed.
That would be good for me to see, because it would make me feel like I've got a sense of purpose or something.
Yeah, and the way that we do that is we actually provide you with a document, so that we'll write all of those things down. We'll write down whose job it is to go and inquire or look at, whose responsibility it is to do the certain things, and then we'll give you an opportunity to go and explore some of those
That
things.
sounds great.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
shut me up a bit from when I got here today.
Well, I think that we'll do that in the next round. I don't want to overwhelm you, so I'd much rather.
I came in pretty despondent and sad actually, and now I'm feeling a bit happier.
Oh, that's good to know, because really what I want to do with the next 15 minutes is actually talk about your AOD years. Yeah?
Okay.
All right, great.